Hi everyone, it's Charlotte Strong, your Lexus rep. Most of you guys know me. I went to Northwestern for law school, graduated, worked at a large law firm, and became a mediator before I came to Lexus. So today we are here to do a brief research refresher for 2Ls and 3Ls who have some research experience but probably need a little bit of a refresher. So we're going to talk about how to conduct legal research, whether it's for a paper, a journal, or for an employer. So here's our hypo. The Supreme Court recently came out with a case to settle a split in the circuits regarding whether or not cell phone ping locations can be used without obtaining a warrant. Does this violate the Fourth Amendment? The court held that accessing ping location information generally requires a warrant, except in certain emergency circumstances. We're going to research the background of the law and how lower courts might interpret this decision. All right, let's get started. So, I'm going to give you 4 ways to start your research assignment. You can first start with search terms in the red search box, then click on RavelView in your site list. Second, start with one case and then shepherdize a headnote. So that's when you've been given a great case. Use that great case to find more cases. Or if you've been given a statute, start with the statute, go to the case notes, and look at the cases cited, then follow number 2. Or the way that you've been taught in the past, and the most preferred way, is to start with a treatise, learn about the elements of your legal issue, find a good case, then go on to number 2 above. All right, so let's start with the first way. And I know this is the way you guys like to do research, so I'm going to show you how to make yourself more efficient. So you click on the big red search box and you would enter some search terms. I was looking at this earlier, so I'm just going to click on my search terms. Now, how to formulate good search terms, you always want to connect the fact with the law. And if there is only one term and connector that you remember, /P, which means within the same paragraph, will do wonders for your research. So I want the fact and the law in the same paragraph. Really simple. So I said cell phone, /P, location, and Fourth Amendment. And I'm going to go ahead and search everything. Now, for those of you who don't know, Lexus acquired Ravel last summer, and just this fall, it has been released to the law school market. Right here in the right-hand corner above your citation list is RavelView. It has this little map-looking thing on it. So you click on that, and it takes you to RavelView. RavelView allows you to visually see the top 75 cases from your citation list. We know that most of us, I'll include myself, don't go too much past the first page when we're conducting our research, right? Because we're busy, we have a lot of time, we don't have a lot of time, so we need to be really efficient. But by not going past the first page, we may miss some things. RavelView is to help you see everything that you need to see. So in RavelView, the cases are arranged by court over here, so from highest court to lowest court, and then by date line. The bigger the circle, the more citations to and from it. When you hover over a circle, the case pops up. You can see, I'm going to click on it so I can actually point this stuff out. But when I'm hovering, this pops up showing the case and the citation. But if I click on it, the case pops to the top of my citation list. Now look, Riley v. California is a Supreme Court case that has a ton of citations to and from it, but it was number 37 on our list. We probably would not have seen that until we had done some additional search within results to get to that case. Now, it's showing how Riley v. California is connected to all of these other cases on my citation list. So the green line means that there was positive treatment indicated. A yellow line means caution. So If we hover over the case that is connected, you can see that this is followed by, and you can see the analysis of how it was followed. This is a great way for you to figure out the seminal cases in your particular area or what you're researching and get there quickly. So I can see there's Riley, and to unclick anything, just click anywhere on the map. INRI US for an order directing provider of electric communication services to disclose records to the government. That's a pretty big case. Excuse me. That's a pretty big case out of the Third Circuit that could be pretty important for me. And here I have one that went up, looks like this is the one that went up on appeal to the Supreme Court for the latest case. Also, when you do RavelView and you see there's a Supreme Court case and it's fairly recent, you probably want to make sure that you view that case and read it, because it could have some pretty important implications for the area of law that you're researching. All right, so that's the first way. You have a few terms, you throw it in the big red search box, and then you come look at RavelView, figure out what the seminal cases are. All right, let's go back and do the second way. So, a lot of times you're given one great case and then told to go find more great cases. I know that feeling of, okay, but how do I do that? Well, Lexis makes it very, very easy. So I'm going to enter in a citation, 565. Well, first I should click in the big red search box, right? So 565 US 400. And I'm just going to hit enter or click the red magnifying glass. And that takes me into US v. Jones. So if this is a case that I've been given that this was absolutely fantastic for me, I'm going to go ahead. First, I'll read the case summary so I can get an understanding of the case. I'll read the case closely, and I'm also going to look at the head notes. So as I'm looking through the head notes, I'm going to look at head note number 3. The government's installation of a global positioning system device on a target's vehicle and its use of that device to monitor the vehicle's movements constitutes a search. All right, well look, there's 24 cases that have distinguished itself from this head note and 26 given it positive treatment. And if we shepherdize by it, we just narrow by this head note, we get 310 cases. So let's go ahead and do that. I just clicked on shepherdize, narrow by this head note. Now I am in the Shepard's report and it has been narrowed by head note 3. I can narrow this list further, whether I just want to see the caution analysis, the cases that have distinguished it. I can look at the positive analysis, but one quick and easy way to always narrow your citations list is right here on publication status. There's 192 unreported cases. For me right now, I only want to look at the reported cases because I can't cite to the unreported cases. And as you can see, that narrows it down to 117. And I can keep narrowing and reading through, and you will also see that the citation symbols are always followed by the analysis. So in Carpenter, it tells you how this was followed by. It tells you where it distinguished itself and where it just merely cited it or explained. And it was again cited in the dissenting opinion. So you can use this, use the Shepard's report, narrow by a head note, and find more cases. So that's way number 2. I'm going back to the home page. All right, so let's go on to the third method. Let's say you've been given a statute. Now, when you've been given that statute, you can use the statute itself to find some good cases. So let's go ahead and enter the statute into our search bar. So I'm going to type 18 USC 1951 and just hit search. All right, so here's our statute. Anytime you're in a statute, there is this go-to pull-down menu, and it's in any document that you're in. So what we want to look at are case notes. Sometimes they're called notes of decision. So looking in the case notes, right here are all these cases interpreting this statute. And this gives the category of the cases, whether it's generally the elements of the crime. And FYI, this statute is not on topic for our hypo. This is just a great statute for us to use right now. Extortion generally, etc. So you can see here just how many different case notes there are. So let's say I just want to look at it generally. I'm going to click on the little envelope, and it takes me to several cases that interpret this statute generally. I can click right here, click right on the case name. They're all hyperlinked, and that takes me right into my case. And once I've started doing that and I find a good case, then go back to method number 2, use a head note to find more great cases. All right, so that's method number 3. Let's go back to the Lexis Advance homepage. I just used that button to get me back to the top of the page, and I'm going to click Lexis Advance Research. All right, let's look at the 4th method of ways to start your research, starting with a treatise. So, similar to number 1, we're going to throw some search terms in there. And remember, I'm connecting fact with the law. That /P is my connector. And then I'm going to click this red magnifying glass. And instead of staying in cases this time, I want to go to secondary materials. Now remember, this is the method you learned when you were first year, and this is the preferred method of how to research. I'm going to go ahead and narrow to treatises, and treatises are like legal encyclopedias, super helpful for you. And I'm going to narrow to U.S. Federal because that's all I care about right now. And once I do that, look, this Prosecutor's Manual for Arrest, Search, and Seizure. This could be something really good. So I'm going to go ahead and click into that one. And I would read this and see what constitutes a search within the scope of the 4th Amendment. What is a search, etc., etc. For the interest of time, we're not going to go and read this together today. Always make sure you open the table of contents. You may click into a treatise and the table of contents is not opened. Go to the left-hand side of the page and click on the table of contents so that it opens. It's a really good idea because when you're looking at a treatise, while that chapter may be helpful, there may be surrounding chapters that are even more helpful for you. So I'm going to click on particular devices or data. And then I would read through, and right away, I see a case that had came up in our first search, Riley v. California. There we go. There's one case. And I could keep reading through, and there's going to be other cases. They're either hyperlinked within the document or they are down in the footnote. So Riley v. California, if I go down to the footnote, there it is. And I can click on one to get back to the document itself. So you can also use this as a way for you to get more search terms, okay? So those are the 4 methods of how to do your research. Now you see just how easy it is to start your research with Lexis Advance. Remember our 4 methods. First, you can start with search terms in the red search box, then click on RavelView in your site list. Remember, RavelView maps the top 75 cases from your site list and allows you to see the relationship between the cases. This way, you can find the seminal cases much faster. You can start with one case, then shepherdize a head note and find more great cases. Start with a statute, go to case notes, look at the cases cited, find a good case, and then go with number 2 above. Or you can start with a treatise, learn about the elements of your legal issue, find a good case, then follow number 2 above. It's really simple. You guys can do it. I have confidence in you because you guys are all super smart. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time, or if it's 3 a.m. and you guys know I'm probably sleeping, call customer support at 1-800-45-LEXUS. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.